Hey everyone. Uh, this is not a crypto kitty. However, if it was, I think it would be a fine contribution to the blockosphere. Um, it is, however, handmade with a 3D printer pen. I wanted to mention today a real topic, which is how do you market ICOs in a day and age when the SEC is saying that ICOs are essentially a form of securities, and therefore they have to be filed as such with the SEC beforehand, etc. Some notices went out by the SEC recently that basically confirmed that. They said that basically any ICO is a form of selling something of value, therefore, yeah, and it's not a utility, therefore, it's a security. Um, and they've even ordered a couple of ICOs to pay back the people that bought in because of the way they handled things. All in all, it's good that a lot of ICOs kind of, you know, that there are maybe fewer of them because there was this bonanza of them a year ago, and it was just everyone and their mother could come up with any kind of coin and just ICO it and then exit scam and not good things. It's bad for the overall health of the ecosystem. It's bad for the investors who have a bad taste in their mouth as a result, and end up leaving the ecosystem and probably won't come back for a while. Um, it's just generally, it attracts too many shady operations. Although that being said, there are many ICOs that are really great and have done some great things, obviously. And there's also a host of ICOs that are, still coming online today. I've already spoken, with a number of them. Recently, I interviewed Ohad, from Honeybox. They're doing an ICO, and they're really, I consider, their product to be pretty neat and something to look out for as an interesting product and as an interesting element of the ecosystem. So when I see that there's like this whole, what are companies going to do with the regulation regarding ICOs and how does this affect marketing? I actually think it's overall a good thing, right, to have some rules of fair play in place to protect investors, to protect innovators, to protect people who are doing actually a good thing. Um, and basically, what it means is there will be fewer bad hands who are trying to do, behave like scoundrels, basically, because as the blockchain is very transparent, or large segments of it are anyway, if you discount, Monero or other privacy projects. Generally speaking, blockchain events are public, especially if they're using Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of the big coins. And this means that the ICO market will actually be greatly reduced in quantity and or in volume number of players, but greatly enhanced in quality of players because the people remaining in ICOs, in theory, as they're filing with the SEC beforehand and doing all the necessary paperwork to give some assurance to the SEC that there's someone real to speak to when bad things happen. Um, that's going to basically raise the standard of ICOs and actually make them a better investment vehicle, I think, overall. Now, will their popularity rise back to where they were a year ago? Maybe never again in volume, but we don't need that many ICOs. You just need the good ones. Um, will ICOs go the way of the dinosaur? Maybe, but I don't think that's happening in the next few months. Yes, there's almost none of them left. And these days, if you're approached by an ICO, people tend to be wary at first. But if you actually review the plans of what you're being, shown or whatever, there's a lot of really great ICOs still coming up. And I don't see them stopping just because the SEC is requiring them to file. If anything, the good ones are looking forward to doing that because that will offer them some added protections as well, just as it offers to investors, right? Because by filing with the SEC, they know that they're following the rules as best as they can, so they'll get the benefit of the doubt, just as investors will get the protection of the government, and that is, after all, the whole point of regulatory agencies. Whether crypto libertarians like it or not, and I'm going to keep my opinion out of it, whether I like it or not. But I do think overall, having some modicum amount of, if you live in the country, you have to follow the laws of the country, regardless of your opinions of the cryptocurrency, right? You can have your Bitcoin, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can, break local laws in using it, right? Maybe some countries allow you to do the things that they wouldn't let you do in other countries. Okay, fine, great. So go to those countries and do those things. But in the US, you still have to follow US laws. In Europe, you still have to follow European laws, etc. So I think overall it's good that the SEC did this and that they're going to require this, and that anybody who's planning to do an ICO should go ahead and file. And even if you've done one, follow their rules about what to do if you've already done the ICO, so that you avoid the headaches, because ultimately the government is what the government is, and it, regardless of what you think of it, right, it serves a purpose and it does a certain job function. And I think this actually opens up the opportunity for marketing ICOs. You just have to market them properly as a security according to the rules of how you market securities. Pretty strict set of information about how to do that. Um, there are tighter rules, obviously, it's not a free for all, and that's good, right? It puts limitations on, the hyper speculation numbers that people are allowed to throw around. It also makes very clear, if the solicitation is for security or not, and what is the purpose of the solicitation, and all of the kinds of important information that goes along with marketing securities. And it also demonstrates to us that the SEC is serious about seeing the evolution of cryptocurrencies and the blockchain in general, by setting forth these regulations, right? Because if they're saying, okay, you can have your ICO as long as you file, that also means it's very likely that you're going to see, ETFs happening in the crypto sphere, not just in Switzerland, but in the US, especially if BACT performs well. Will BACT perform well? Who knows? Is the Bitcoin Bitcoin Cash hash war causing problems for that to happen, by killing the rest of the market in the meantime? Maybe to some degree, maybe not. There's a lot of panic and FUD just happening that's just causing this downturn. But not everything is down, right? And XRP is up, and a bunch of others, that you probably wouldn't even know are up if you just look at coin market cap and just compare the currency to BTC or whatever, or ETH even. You'll see that there's some gainers. It's not everything is actually down, depending on what you pair with, right? Um, so again, I think bottom line, this really sets the stage for a bigger marketing industry in crypto. Having these SEC filings in place is going to make sure that people are playing above board, and ultimately that is good for the investors, for shareholders, founders, whatever innovators, people are holding. It's good for the ecosystem in general. It's good for the news. It's good for the PR, right? It gets rid of a lot of the bad things that people don't want to hear about or read about when they're considering investing in cryptocurrency, which is, after all, a new area. Even though it's 10 years old, it's still relatively new in its estimated life cycle. Um, think about where the web was when it was 10 years old. It was 10 years old already in like 2003 or 2000, some 2002, something like that. So in 2002, the web was nothing like it is today, right? Um, Same thing with crypto. It is nothing like it will be in another 10 years, and another 10 years after that. So with that said, I'm going to keep this short. Hope you found this useful, and if you have, tell friends, tell colleagues, subscribe, leave comments, share, yada, yada, yada. And thanks. Hope you're having a great, profitable day. doing whatever you're doing. Until next time, take care.